Okay, we are good. Start TV / Ion Mark III. It is. There we go. We are good. We are rolling. We are doing a thing. Maybe. Yeah, we're live. Okay. Hello there, everyone. This is I am Mark III, and welcome back to Frostpunk, which was meant to be going on yesterday, but you know, net problems happened, so I didn't have any internet all day for the most part, and that kind of put a damper in any plans to stream, unfortunately. Also, we're missing 10 people already. Right. At the end of last time, we were aware of the absolute nonsense which is just heading towards us. Namely this lot. Yep. So as you can see, everything is kind of getting frozen over. There were a few camps we couldn't get at. There's just not enough time anymore. We're about to be hit by a monster storm, which is going to be so bad it's going to shut down all forms of food production, among other things. So, okay, that's all getting up there. So, we've got like one more session able to get food, one more night. So I think we've got, how many people we've got free? 10 regular people, 131 kids. Flipping kids. Yeah, we could build one more thing. However, there is a little something which I discovered in my other game which I wish I'd been aware of a little bit sooner. Like, I bought the efficiency upgrade because I wish I'd known this way sooner, quite honestly. That is the fact that hunting tactics, -5 workers at hunters' huts, it also applies to flying huts as well. So that would increase the number of hunting huts I could be supporting by 50% of all things. So, you know, it's just sheer nonsense like that. I wish I'd known that sooner, because then I could have done a lot more to prepare for food. Like, I could have easily thousands and thousands more food if I'd been aware of that. I just wasn't. So, hooray for efficiency on my part, I suppose. On the bright side though, we've got all these techs, so we should be able to at least get things sorted out. 4 hours to go. We've got a lot of research available. So with all of this research, we can at least get all of this sorted out. Didn't I see a thing around here? Like, why are you at 0%? Oh, you got an automaton. Ah! You're short. But basically, we just need to get a lot more hunters' cottages out there. As many as we can, to try and scrape together some last vestiges of food. A few more scraps to try and keep people going, I think, is probably the better way to term it. Placing here will block an important facility. Alright, so I'll have to go a little bit further in there. And you. A resource depot. Yeah, I'm planning to do a Vorian tomorrow, Lollard. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, the blizzard is inbound. And so this is going to be fun. It's just that as I was just saying and blathering on, I've discovered that the -5 to worker requirements applies to the flying hunter huts as well. So I wish I'd known a bit sooner. I would have had even more food prepared. And there we go. And suddenly we've got over 100 more workers that aren't doing anything. And I could have really used that. Okay, right. So what have we got? We've got the installation. We don't need the redesign. Hothouse. Maybe we could maybe use that, but our infirmaries are okay at the moment. We don't need anything here anymore. We don't need anything scout related. We could boost our automatons even further, make them even better. But right now I think we don't need range. Heater efficiency, maybe? No. We've got the power. We've got raw sheer power on our side. So I think we should make sure that our infirmaries don't have a chance to shut down. That'll help, I think. Just make absolutely darn sure that they won't shut down. Is there anything I actually need in here? Child labour for all jobs? No. I can't believe yeah. I only ever went to emergency shift, not extended shift, and actually I've learned in my multiple starts on hard mode on this game, in my own personal thing, it's like extended shift is a awesome one to have. In fact, it's very useful at the start, especially if you don't want to put child labour into effect. So extended shift is actually incredibly useful. It's just probably not at this point, but because I've got a lot of stuff already going on. But earlier on, a very nice thing to have. Let's keep on slapping down more huts and things, because we've got to make sure we're ready. Or as ready as we can be. There we go. Just for that last burst of food. Because this will be the... There's one, maybe two more shifts of hunter production left, and then that's it. We're done. For a long, long time. Maybe a week, maybe not. But it did say at least a week. But I don't trust this game that far. Let's see. Just max out the workers, get them all operational as soon as possible. Oh, I've actually tapped everyone. So I have. See? Didn't mean to do that. Are there any more? Is there anywhere that we can convert to using engineers instead? Because we have too many engineers, let's be honest. Unfortunately, I think I've already done this. Ooh, there's 5 workers being used in the public house. Let's get that max out on engineers instead. This guard tower doesn't have anyone. Engineers. The engineers stand over us all with their clubs ready. But if we've got all the workers out, then that's all there is, isn't there? Can't exactly do much more. It feels cold just looking at that thing. Yeah, there's nothing more I can do at all. Unless I've forgotten some outpost teams, but I don't think I have. Outpost teams, let's double check. No teams. I recall doing this last time. No teams. So yeah, we have no teams ready. Fly. Fly, my hunters. Bring me back food. Bring back as much as you can. This is the last chance to get some. And then the generators will be in overdrive. Everything will be restricted, and I think we're probably going to run into a whole bunch of social problems. Because the people will just be very unhappy about this. There's also the fact I think that my coal consumption will just go through the roof as well. So I need to make sure that I'm all ready. Well, honestly, at this point, if I'm worried about being ready, it's kind of bad. Minus 80. Is this shutting anything down? Is this causing any problems? What's our temperature at? It's all pretty warm. The infirmaries are chilly. Let's actually engage the heaters there. Public house is extremely cold. Don't know why. It looks like that's as good as it's going to get. Except for this one here. This place is freezing, this guard station. Let's turn you off actually. And shut you down. I can't keep you heated, so there's no point in keeping you out there. The prison... Ooh, that's something I didn't think of. The prison is outside the temperature zone. So the prison is going to be a bit of a problem. Let's see, is there anything else I can do in terms of all this stuff? First of all, persuasion. Reduces the time prisoners spend in prison. Prisoners may get hurt or killed. You know what? Sure. Yeah, it doesn't at all. Welcome to the stream as well, Delta, by the by. Okay, let's actually heat this stuff up, I suppose. If we're going to have to burn the coal on heating, we're going to put one in to cover some more stuff around there. Oh, it's going to drop to minus 90 though. Healthcare insulation upgraded. That'll keep the infirmaries from freezing up as best as I'm able to do. Is there anything else I can do in terms of heat? I don't think there is. No, there's just efficiency. That's all I can do. Generator range, I don't think I need that. In fact, don't I have level... It's on level 2 right now. Yeah, generator range isn't going to help any. At least not likely to. So, I think generator efficiency is probably the last thing I can do to try and help repair. Except for maybe accelerates the amount of time people will spend in infirmaries if they do get sick. Actually, gathering post installation. I need gathering post installation. That's something I need. How long is the blizzard going to go on? At least a week. That's what it told me to prepare for. I've got like the best part of 2 weeks worth of food stashed up, so that'll keep me going. And I've also got a lot of automatons around as well, as you can see from, well, all this stuff that's going around. So many machines to try and keep things at least ticking over. Here it comes. Gathering post installation, good. Because the reason I decided to go for gathering post installation is because if my coal demands are higher than anticipated, and I have to kick in and build more coal gathering to keep this thing operational, to keep everything running at full power, then it'll have to be operated by manual labour. I won't be able to divert any automatons to it because the automatons are all spoken for already. And in fact, I think they're already taking over. They've taken power production from... yeah, they've got power production going on for most of it already. So they're already doing the bulk of my resource harvesting in terms of coal. That's why there's so many of them operating in this area. I've got 2 full coal thumpers out there. What is that obedience on the hope meter? If you max out your purpose tree, then you can decide, you know what, let's take this to the... It also changes things as well. That's why they just said, praise our glorious leader. The Londoners, well, they gathered up and they tried to leave. I had the option to try and give them food, but I didn't have enough in stock. So I could either let them go or force them to stay. I asked the people watching at the time, and it was 2 votes forcing them to stay, 2 votes let them go. I flipped a coin and it said force them to stay, and then that turned out to be... the game decided to take that and turn that into literally strip off their cold protection clothing and then beat them in the streets around the generator. And just beat them into submission. Which was way more extreme than it made it seem like it was going to do. So, you know. And because of that, it's like, you know, well, I've forced them to stay here, I've got to show them their rights, so when refugees started turning up, I accepted every single last one of them. And luckily, I was in a good enough position to actually be able to take in every single last one of them as well. It's just, you know, I didn't want to beat my people into submission, not really. But yeah, that's what happened to the Londoners. And then, if we go into my purpose set, right here, here's the extreme. It's on fire, right here. New order. Introduction to New Order. All who voice doubts will be treated as traitors. Obedience is the highest virtue, without which the city can't survive. All those who do not follow will be swept aside. So I enacted that and became absolute dictator And people were talking last time about how Hitler could take notes from me on how to run a totalitarian dictatorship, because I actually managed to do it pretty well. Oh, we've got two people freezing. Where's that? I know it's not here because I should... No, turn that off. No one's meant to be in there. Leave that place. It's freezing. Two people going to the fighting arenas. Oh, that's meant to be turned on. So's that. Those are already on the cookhouse. Those cookhouses are cold, but they're already active. First storm is coming. Oh, so there's more storms. Lovely. The other purpose is religious, and basically you become the mouthpiece of God if you go that route. And again, it replaces hope with an obedience style thing. So basically you don't have to worry about hope anymore. But people will resist you no matter what if you try to do that. Especially, and it also depends on how your hope is and how well prepared you are and things like that. But basically a quarter of the city is going to try to resist, most likely. Three storms in total, maybe, I'm not sure. Day 100 is the end day. Oh, thank you, Lollard. Okay. But yeah, the storm is about to hit. Here it comes. The sites next to us are frozen. Oh my. But yeah, the thing is I've been deliberately holding off playing this game because the first time... That's kind of what I want to do in terms of stream, when I'm streaming something like this. It's like, the first time it's happening is when it turns up. So I don't know if what's going to happen during this particular storm, if something is, or is it just going to be really bad. I mean, the fact I can't harvest food is going to be pretty bad. But I think... okay, the wind. Can't hear my own thoughts. Right. Cycling generator to maximum power. Hell has frozen over. Yep, this is truly hell. The generator's kicking up. We've got 2 days of coal in reserve at this particular power output. We've got the overdrive ready to engage as well. With a feeling ruler, then a hyper-religious people in the advent of Sins of Solar Empire. The thing is, though, actually, going religious has its own benefits and drawbacks. The storm hits the city. Howling gale bursts upon the city and the generator creaks and groans under the weight of the wind. Pale faces turn towards rattling windows, trembling lips utter words of prayer. The cold will be brutal, hunting is impossible, the soil in the hothouses will freeze. We'll have to make do with the food we've stockpiled. The city must survive. Prepared well, so all that's left is to wait until it passes. Oh, it's going to get colder as this goes on. Oh dear. No wonder it's... Jeez. Well, this is going to be fun. Yeah, but anyway, you say better to have a good regime with a feeling ruler than a hyper-religious people. But the religious one, I actually managed to get the achievement for a New Utopia. The achievement in my religious game. Because I managed to max out hope as the religious faction, the religious side of it. It's like maximum possible hope. And I got it. Because I gave people faith. So, you know. Unfortunately, that particular city, if I play that one into the storm, I think it's going to die because it's hard mode, so you get less resources as well. So, yeah. Cookhouses are... actually fully functional. It's just... yeah, it's just the storage limit. Look at this. I've got 6,600 food stored. And 2,500 almost raw food stored as well. So, yeah, I've got a lot of food in storage right now. And that feels good. What are these? These buildings able by the storms. Is anything else having problems at the moment? well, the public house is still really cold because it doesn't. We can't upgrade the temperature in the public house, unfortunately. But actually, if you play Faith, you get a special building which allows you to raise the heat level one level further around it at the cost of burning food. Essentially, because it's a work kitchen and it consumes 10 food per day, and in return it acts like an additional heat zone, kind of like a heating hub does. It's the same size as level 1 heat hub in terms of its radius, but it's an actual physical building. It takes 5 people, and the thing is, it doesn't conflict with the heat zone, so it's an additional +1 to your heat level around it in return for using food supply. Let's keep researching. Efficient gathering. We can boost the efficiency of our gathering operations a little bit, I suppose. But I think the only thing we can do now, we're okay for coal, is get the automatons more efficient. That will just help in general. But we might have to kick in the overdrive before too long. The generator's already running at full power. The only way to boost it further is if we overdrive it. Oh, we got people freezing. Preparing for hunts. You know what? Do I need to turn these guys off? Hang on. Food. Can I operate them from in here? Frozen. They're preparing for hunts, but it says they're freezing. The problem is they can't go anywhere, so I think I have to actually turn these guys off just to make sure that people don't go into them. So this is the drawback of having a lot. It's just like, I think they're going to them, they're going to try and gather to hunt, but they can't because it's too cold. So they're just going to sit there and get frostbitten. So I need to get them out of there like right now. Otherwise it's going to cause problems. That steelworks. Yep, those guys are automated, so it doesn't matter. I was wondering if this was something I'd have to do, but it turns out it is. So I'm going to free up my labour pool and just get back to safety. Because no one should be out in these buildings at this point. They are completely and utterly disabled. So just turn it all off. Come on. You're not going to work. It's in this. I just got to do it before you get frozen. Because if they start having frostbite, they are going to swamp my infirmary facilities, and that's going to be bad. Especially since there's like hundreds of people just immediately coming down ill at the same time. They'll probably die, honestly. And that might kill the city. So, well, it won't kill the city right away, and the food reserves will last longer, but once the storm clears, it will be population that won't be there anymore as well. So we'll lose all the people. So turn that off. Is that all of them? I think it is. Yes, it is. Okay. And look, suddenly no one's freezing because they're not being idiots and going out into a disabled facility. Oh, we're full on steel, so we actually need to get some stuff. Resources, resource storage. We need to keep on producing and keep on storing it all away. Because at some point they might actually require all of this. That will block an important facility. That can go there, that can go there. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of additional storage. That should be quite useful. And if I run it along like that, then I get one round behind here? I don't think I can. Oh, yes I can. Okay. That'll let me continue to expand things. Build the coal mine so that the what goes away? Well, the problem with that, Lollard, is that I need steam cores to build coal mines, and I have none. All of my steam cores are currently tied up in automatons. So, yeah. Oh, and we got people getting sick. Why? I'm going to build them. Oh, it's because I've sent them out to go build stuff. Right. Okay, so absolutely nothing is safe, apparently. I told them to go build all that, and they're all getting sick because they've wandered out to go and build that. I've got a whole bunch of infirmaries because of the invasion of the sick people that came in earlier. So let's see, I've got 3, I think? I should have more than that, right? No, I think I've got 3 plus some care homes. Also, it's about to get even colder, which is great. Okay, you hold some iron. It's about 1,000 iron, possible. 1,300, 1,600, 1,900 iron. 1,300, 600, 900 wood. 6,400. 6,700. 7,000 food, and then then the rest of this new storage will be dumped into coal storage. So yeah, about 2,000 each on steel and wood. 7,000 prepared food. We've got 2,400 for raw food, and actually that's set 2 of those to raw food as well. So that makes raw food at 3,000, and then the rest of it is in coal. Got a lot of sick people because I sent them out in the storm to go and build stuff. Turns out that was a bad idea. Who'd have thunk it? I think nothing else to sign in here. So let's see, is there anything else in adaption I need to get? Child labour for all jobs, triage, house of pleasure, and dueling law. You're not sure. House of pleasure. Yeah, discontent happens sometimes. Might as well deal with it a little bit. Also, 2 homeless. Here we go. More cold. 5 out of 10. Max that out. I could hear the ice creaking when that happened. But I also think, by the way, that our population does slowly change, because I had enough housing before, but now I don't. So housing does seem to change. Sorry, population seems to grow over time, in some way. Aha, automation integration. Get level 3, please. So we've got 4 people homeless, which I don't know why. So I'm building a couple more houses. Probably do with some more stuff. Minus 100 degrees, we're going to hit minus 120 projected, that we know of. Automation level 3, thank you. The thing is, if I'd gone with child safety rather than child workers, then I could have my research operating at something like 100 and... You know, let's actually boost the outpost team, get them faster. I could have got my serious... I can get serious efficiency if I'd gone that route plus faith. Because, let's see, where's my research section? My research is over here. Right now we're operating at 192%, but the kids could help boost that by another 50% or so. So, you know, I'd be about 200 230, 240% if I had the kids helping out there. So it's definitely worth it to keep your kids safe. You just can't use them as conventional workers, that's the only drawback. The city is really seems like it's struggling, it's just trying to hold on. Oh, we got a whole bevy of more people getting sick. Oh, I think this is going to get worse actually. Coal reserves are steady, but I think the number of sick is going to keep getting worse. So, it would be a good idea. Oh, I can't build any infirmaries. Because I don't have any steam cores. So I think maybe we should get some medical tents up as well, just to help out. Actually, no, let's not do that one. If I put it in, if this side, I could put an additional coal thumper in there actually. So let's do it on this side. Just get a whole bunch of medical structures available. Another 4 there. People will get frozen going out there to build it, but look at this. I've just hit 60 people who are sick now. And here comes another temperature drop. Oh dear.
Wrap up well. Frost is here.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Temperature just drops another 10 degrees. Even with the maxed out generator power, and insulated houses, the housing is now shutting down. The houses are cold. Public houses, some of the stuff is absolutely frozen solid already. This care house, for some reason, didn't have its heaters on. That's weird. Let's see, is there anything else I've forgotten to turn on? I don't think so, but yeah, everything is getting really, really cold now. Really, really, really cold. So let's make sure that these guys are turned on. Oh, I can't because they're not built. I think it's about at the stage where I'm thinking about switching up to overdrive, honestly. Let's overdrive now during the night, which will add 2 levels. Come on, generator, full power. Yes, work. Work, I command it. But that's probably going to sap my coal reserve as well. Just make sure that I've got enough stuff for people here. Yeah, some of these are already getting used. So just make sure. Okay. Our automatons are now as efficient as possible. Is this in degrees Celsius? Yes, it is. That's as efficient as I can get it. So let's get infirmaries accelerated by 15%. Heal people faster, please. We need to kick them out before the next batch of sick people comes in. In fact, let's see. Infirmary, give food to the sick. Yes, here, have more food. Heal faster. I don't want you guys sitting around in here. Get well soon. Have double rations. Is that all of them? I think it is. Yeah, that's all of those. But the problem is the generator is in overdrive. So at least because I upgraded it, it's not going to do too badly. Also, actually it's middle of the day, I should turn it off right now. There we go. So yeah, we're at minus 110 degrees Celsius. We are going to hit minus 120 when at the start of the next day. But the forecast doesn't say it's going to get colder than 120 at this point. So that's why I've eased off on the generator right now, so it'll de-stress itself. And then good, they're leaving the hospitals now. Good. And then when the temperature drops again, I'm going to kick in the overdrive and leave it on. So that way we'll negate the worst of the effects, at least for the time being. Special industry. We can't build any, at least right now. I think we want, because we're starting to use the overdrive, we should actually get efficiency boosts. So let's get the efficiency up. We've got raw power, we've got the coal reserves, but we are burning a lot of coal actually. I mean, 10,000 coal is about 2 days worth. That is, that's not good. Luckily, I'm mining it as fast as I'm using it. Let's see, adaption. I will say child labour in all jobs. Children can be employed in the most workplaces. Hope will fall, discontent will rise slightly. Child workers can be injured or die in accidents. I'm not going to use it. I'm not using child labour anyway. It's just something to do. But we really have no other choice? Oh, we have plenty of other choices. It's just a thing. So, you know. Like, if I could tell you guys to make the most luxurious cup holder ever, I would. But I can't, so instead we've got children can be used in almost every workplace. So, rejoice and be happy. I was thinking about it. Yeah, it's because during the night time, when they're forced to be in the cold homes, that's when people get really sick. And we're about to hit the cold wave, so overdrive is on. It starts to beat. I don't think it's doing that normally, but it's, if you watch these side pistons, the side pylons bits, it's actually thumping like a heart now. It's actually moving as it strains to try and keep the place. Oh, look at that! 70, 80 people sick. Jeez. And we're not even at 120. We're still at 110 right now. We're still at 110. We're not there yet. We're not at the danger zone yet. And we've got a massive amount of the people just keeling over sick at the moment. Let's get more health posts in there. There. Go and build that, please, and try not to freeze your fingers off, if you'd be so kind, because this, I'm already overtaxed. 80 is my absolute limit, it looks like, in terms of my healthcare capacity, and I've got another 22 which aren't being tended to, so... Here it comes. It's getting worse. 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh dear. Oh, that one's not in range. Okay, cancel that one. That one won't get heated. Overdrive is already on. And even with overdrive on, we're still at chilly. Darkness before dawn. One of the engineers has come through crashing through the door with white face demanding to see you. I've done calculations with new data. The storm will pass into a couple of days, but the temperature just before the end will drop drastically. Nothing can protect us from such cold. Panic is starting to spread through and people are losing hope. We have to stay strong. Okay, so we're going to get a major cold crash right before we see the other side of the storm, apparently. I wish I had more automatons. Quite honestly, that would be useful. My coal mining is... the automated mining, though, is keeping my coal supplies rock solid. Food reserves are absolutely fine. I just have to avoid sending people out into this nonsense that's going on outside. So... Oh yeah, look, the propaganda centre is absolutely toasting. Of course it is. I look after my people very well indeed. Yes. What the heck's the spike going to be like, though? That's what I'm worried about. Oh, there's only 4 engineers available? Everyone else is sick? Jeez. Well, let's get the heat on, I suppose. We're out of engineers. We've got 300 workers. That's another thing the Faith route has got, by the way. They have a medical building that you can operate using workers instead of engineers. So, and that building actually has a slower healing rate, but it increases hope as well. So, it's a bit of another. We got a thing. People refusing to work. Propaganda Centre refused to go to work today. They say that they would spend the final hours with their families. That's fine. I don't mind. Admittedly, it would be much better if they could take their families to work at the Propaganda Centre, because the Propaganda Centre is one of the warmest places in the city. So that would be the smart thing to do. Instead of saying, nope, we don't want to be warm, we want to go into our cold homes and stay there instead. Oh, you idiots. If only you knew what I know. Okay, we've got an efficiency boost. Since we're going to get out of this, let's go ahead and actually maximize our scout team, because we're going to get use out of this stuff anyway. We just need more engineers. Lollard, what you've seen is 150 is the max drop, but that was an easy game. I'm on medium. Yes, it is. I'm on medium, so that means I'm probably going to see worse than 150. I mean, I'm operating at 120 right now, and I'm still holding together. The problem is, though, actually, how much has the generator got left in it? The generator is at about 35%-ish. I need to let that cool off. Disengage the overdrive. Oh look, as soon as I disengage it, it all gets cold. So yeah, as soon as the work shift is over, that's when I need the overdrive during the night especially. What's the work hours? Where's the work hours is till 1800. So the generator will have a few hours to de-stress itself, and then I'll kick it back into full power. 1800, right. It's night time, and generators have maximum power. And yep, it does start beating like a heart as soon as you kick the overdrive in. Got any spare engineers? No. Oh, I'm just out of engineers actually. Actually, where are all my automatons working? I know they're working in really cold places, like it's thanks to the automatons I never bothered to heat this coal gathering section here. I don't need to, because the machines don't care. It's like, ooh, cold? So what? Let's just keep on going. But no. Dismantle. I would get steam core back if I tear apart one of my automatons. I need to keep metal running. On the bright side though, this storm has actually been wonderful for building up resources. This has been really good for building up my resources. I mean, I've got so much wood and metal in stock now, thanks to that. And my coal is actually holding really steady still. So, you know, I must be doing something right. 13 people being treated. 11, 8. Good, the overdrive is keeping people from really getting sick. So that seems to be the trick. Overdrive when people are at night, and you'll stem the tide at least a fair bit. 59 people. Never mind, it's now doing it. I think we need a cookhouse actually, that's another cookhouse, because something I've noticed is that everyone goes to the cookhouse to get their food before and after shift. And so that means they are actually going, if there's only one cookhouse, they go all the way across the city to try and get to it, to get food, and in this weather that's going to be a serious problem. So the question is, where are my cookhouses? I've got 2 I think, or is it 3? Food. I've got 4 actually. 1, 2. Actually they're pretty well spaced, they just have to wander over this way. I think probably it's a lack of streets that's causing an issue, because they can't readily get around it, so they have to go follow the roads or something. I don't know. Oh, yep, that's the generator warning bar. The generator is not happy with this. This is not happy at all. Now it's frozen over. I'm a bit angry because crafting legendaries is so hard. Okay. Well, legendaries are always going to be hard, aren't they? So capsules in the guard tower. Honestly, though, I'm surprised there's not been any other issues apart from that severe warning. Oh, panic spreading. There we go. Even more people have abandoned their workplaces. They're completely petrified. Many of them don't believe we'll make it. This time the entire staff of the guard station have refused to work. That's absolutely fine. I'm not relying on the guard station in any way, shape or form at this point. I don't need it. My discontent is at 0. Despite the fact I'm extremely cold and I'm feeding my people soup. I have enough enough stuff dealing with dissatisfaction to just basically stop it all. The only thing I don't want to do though is grab dueling law, because sometimes people will kill each other. You know, I don't want that, and it's going to stop me from maxing out everything in the Book of Laws, because everything else I can find it useful. Like this one, I can use the triage to force people to be healed and kill some of them. But dueling law is just randomly you'll lose discontent, and every so often someone will drop dead because of it. So if it wasn't for that death thing, I would pick that up. If there's some kind of more regulated form, like say you must do it in the fighting arena and it is to X limit, rather than like to the death sometimes, like you can't just call them out in the street or something, then I'd be okay with that. But that dueling law as it is, that's not how I would implement it. So triage. Okay, let's grab triage. The slightly ill can be cured at the expense of the serious cases. Oh look, I've got some discontent. Oh no, whatever will I do? That's a guard station. Guard station, guard, patrol. Oh look, my discontent is back at 0. Honestly, I've got that nailed down so hard. It's not even funny. Okay. Wait, we're in the middle of the day. Oh, we are actually getting some social issues going on now. Desperate. How the heck did he make it back? I'm confused. Anyway, the story to this one is, last stream, before the storms, there was a pop-up which said, a daughter has run away into the wilderness because she's afraid of the storm and she can't take it. And so the father let us know that he was going. I had the option to just send him on his way, to forcibly stop him, or to supply him and send him out so before he went out. So I paid a little bit of wood, I supplied him, and it's this guy. He's apparently come back. So yeah. Sir, it's a miracle. The man who went looking for his daughter is back. He brought her with him. He says they found her soon after leaving the city, but then they got lost and had to wait for a lull in the blizzard to find their way back. They are both exhausted and frostbitten, but very happy. Yes, welcome back, you two. Jeez. You guys have got a story for the rest of the people here about not giving up and all that jazz. Still, I'm glad that I was able to supply that guy because he made it back. Awesome. Also, before I forget, yeah, turn off the... Oh, geez, the generator is actually overtaxed pretty badly right now. Need to let it cool down because we're about to get the massive cold spike. Need to know... Maxed out on... Yeah, our scouts are maxed out, so they'll be ready to roll as soon as the storm lets up. Food and shelter... Well, the question is, will we be finding other people out there? It's a valid question, I think. Let's actually get efficient gathering to boost that. Yep, everything is really cold, but that's just until we hit night time, and then I'll bring the overdrive back in. But the overdrive is almost completely maxed out. Oh, hello. Panic spreads. More people are abandoning their workplace. Where are they? Entire staff of a workshop. workshop. Yeah, sure, go home. Actually, I think that was a really cold workshop that stopped working, so that's okay. Sure, go ahead. No worries. Be with your families. I will watch over the city and worry enough for all of you. Because we are going to survive this pretty handily, actually. Apart from the fact that the generator is actually so stressed it's at risk of blowing up. 21. I'm going to save the generator right up until the thing hits. I'm going to save it because the overdrive is mostly stressed out. We need the overdrive when the... Oh, we've got freezing people now. Unable to work. People are getting frostbite now because it's so cold. I will kick the generator to full power at midnight, I think. That'll let me warm things up a little bit. And they're freezing, but they're being treated for it. They're okay, at least for now. I'm gonna make it. The number of frozen people is increasing, but almost there. Midnight. Generator on. Full power. And we'll burn it until as long as possible. Keep it going. Yep, here comes the midnight spike in people. Fear of the storm. Work ceases. Ooh. Most of our people have abandoned their workplaces to stay home with their families. Only the medical facilities are still functional. The city holds its breath, waiting for whatever the end will bring. We have to stay strong. Ooh. Generators at full throttle. All workplaces have now shut down. That of course means... Well, I couldn't have done that anyway. Oh, there goes the temperature. 150. Yep, it's capped at 150 it seems. The generator's doing its absolute best, but this is the limit of what my heating can do. Because of frostbite, people are becoming gravely ill. Oh jeez, too cold. Too cold. Must be at least chilly to work. My is everything else still functional? The cookhouses are completely shot. The infirmary's okay. You know what, let's actually spend the extra rations to get people moving as fast as possible. That's absolutely fine. We've still got 7,000 food in reserve. We only tore through like 2/3 of our raw food reserve in all that. So we're actually absolutely fine. These places, however, are frozen solid. So there's no point in even having these guys anymore because they just can't resist the heat well enough to do anything. And I think they're just getting the engineers sick that are in them as well. So I'm going to shut them all down. Admittedly, that it may seem like a bad idea, but the fact is still that since they're cold, they can't have any patients, so there's no patients in there anyway. It's just the engineers are in there risking getting sick for no benefit. So, you know, kick them all out. Generator's still going strong. The generator's still got it. We just have to wait for dawn, another 4 hours or so. Fine. Got another 60 people sick. Care homes will be taking what they can. Everything's frozen solid. Well, it's not frozen. I'm keeping it like maxed out. It's still at freezing level. So it's very, very cold. But the only way I could do... Actually, the Faith specialty buildings wouldn't be able to do this anyway. People are gathering. People are gathering at the heart of the city. And they're all freezing! You idiots! Why are you out there? Why are you all out there? Now I've got 593 cases of people freezing because you've done that. Oh, it's because I've got the morning roll call. That's why they all came out and got frozen. Darn it. That's my fault, that one. I should have said nope, don't come to roll call today. There won't be one. Stay warm. Storm ends, winds die down, temperature finally starts to rise. An eerie silence descends on the city. Well, if you ignore the creaking and groaning of the... Oh wow, that's going behind really quickly. Achievements, leader, saviour, and another one I didn't get a chance to read. Wow. We made it. We made it! Woo! We have survived! Haha! Oh, and it's going to black. Really? Is that it? Or is it a cutscene? I think it might be a cutscene. Oh no, it's a time lapse! Oh, cool. A time lapse of the city. I didn't realise it was doing this. Yeah, first we put our children to work. So it's noting my choices as well. Oh. Unless the machine's working. People spying on each other. Brainwashing propaganda. Forceful interrogations. Yes. Prisons. And in the fight for survival. This is pretty awesome, actually. We crossed the line. What? No, we didn't. Oh, despotism. Oh, yep, we crossed that line. Yep. The city survived. But was it worth it? Dun, dun, dun. Well, to be fair, I did okay ruling, but 644 citizens. Glorious city of New London. Ruled by an absolute despot. Okay, so there's no benefit to getting all of the laws then. Oh, is that it? Boo! Oh, actually no, that was actually pretty good. Still, minus 150, but we survived it. Unfortunately though, that seems to be the end of that. So we can start that again. Or we can select a scenario. But yeah, our first city survived. LOL said day 100, but it actually ended day 50. That one. So we got scenarios though. We've got... You still have time or a new one? Well, we've actually had a stream going on for an hour and a bit, so that's a good stream time. But yeah, we've just finished that one apparently. So, New London survived, haha. But we have got scenarios. We've got different stories. So, a new home, that's the one we just came through. This one. So yeah, and then we've got the arcs and a locked scenario which requires you to get to day 20 of the arcs. So there's two other scenarios here. Which I've deliberately avoided doing anything on these. In my playing around, all I've done is go into... I've just been playing New Home, basically. So, the arcs. The question is, though, what difficulty should I do it on? Or do I get the choice? So, the arcs. Brightest minds of Oxford and Cambridge, we have been sent to save priceless seed and plant specimens from the eternal winter. Do we have what it takes to keep the seedling arcs safe? And you say medium again. Yeah, but that's hard mode, which I was doing on my other one. So yeah, let's do medium. Let's keep this as a medium. It's sometimes challenging, and it can really go wrong if you're not careful. But, you know, it seems like we've got a different shaped place to be settling down in, though. So, previously we had a pure circle. In this one, we seem to have something different. So, yeah, here we go. Still, though, that was... my people were despairing. Maybe the stone ship. That's a point, yeah. We got those things, but we were never able to do anything about it. Oh, no cutscene. Seething arcs. Chosen to safeguard as priceless treasure. The seeds and seedlings of plants from all over the world. They've been deposited in seething arcs to stop them from freezing, but it falls to us to build a city to protect these precious buildings until the winter ends. However long that may be. The only way to do this is with automatons. We ensure the Green Earth is reborn, even if we aren't there to witness it. Aww. So, we need to get focused on machinery then. Yep, very different shape here. Wow. And these are the things we've got to protect. And we've got an automaton to start. Factory plans. Research generated site and the seedlings are safely stored in the seething arcs. We were supposed to deploy automatons to make sure the city can run itself no matter the weather, but the transport carrying the factory plans was lost in a blizzard. We need to build a beacon and send a team to search for it. Oh, that's useful. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of wood. It's a lot more constrained as well, you'll notice. We can't build anything like as wide as before. I think the circular area is like half the size, but then we've got this extra spot down here as well. So, you know. Preserve the seedlings. Ensure the seedling arcs don't freeze. All the seedlings and many of the tropical seeds are very sensitive to the cold. If the temperature of any seedling arc falls below chilly for too long, its precious contents will be irreversibly damaged. Ah. So we've got to keep these things sorted out. What do they get? They got +1 insulation. They've got very bad insulation, actually. Only +1. We can probably upgrade that. What are you? You are random coal piles. Okay. All sorts of random stuff. Okay. But yeah, this is a very different style of city, really. However, we do need to figure out what the heck happened to our dear and beloved factory plans. Yeah, the sides are man-made. Yeah, if you look, they've got these they've got these frameworks in them to try and keep this area clear. This is very interesting, actually. I wonder what kind of story this place will have for us. Also, we've started with 40 wood and 35 steel as well, so we've actually started with some resources. Actually, wait, no. That's because we're on medium. On hard, you don't start with any resources at all, except for steam cores and food. You have to harvest to get steel and wood and coal on hard mode. You don't get those. Looks like Anne Good plays on the collector. I don't understand what you mean at all, Olive. Seriously. How many people we've got? 46, 45, and 1 automaton. Very well, let us begin then. Max. Max, get all that wood in, please. What's the furthest coal site? This one. Actually, that's pretty near a road. This one's furthest away from anything else. Yeah, we can't get that one properly, so we'll just do that one maxed out as well, please. Gathering post can take care of all that. Can't do all of that, so we'll be trying to strip those down. And those two can be harvested as well. So, that's what we're going to do. At least. And we're actually going to put in a gathering post, like, straight away on... That's a wood and 2 steel. That's a wood, a coal, and a wood. Let's put a gathering post down over here, actually. And it's going to have to be like there. But we're going to put the automaton on that. So that's why I was paused. It's just so I could work out what I was going to send where. And the automaton will go out and build the stuff. Yeah, I can build. I had enough to build a couple of gathering posts, but yeah, you know, just getting started. Really. And the automaton is going to kick that building until it gets built, basically. Yep, see, it just sits there and starts whacking it with its legs. It's like, haha, I'm building this. Yes, you are, Mr. Automaton. But the reason I want the automaton there is because there's also coal and wood as well. And actually, I forgot. I was going to, but I forgot. I need to do adaption. Looks like the same as before, actually. But what I want is emergency shifts.
Hear me, hear me. New law in the city.
So there we go. We've got emergency shift sorted out. Are you trying to work people to death? Yes, yes I am. Of course I am. But yeah, that one is... I don't really want to use emergency shift though, so that's going to be okay. But yeah, it's automatons can build and deconstruct things. So as you can see, it's trying to very delicately build this place because the workers are all off doing other things. Okay, that's done. So automaton, you take over that and start gathering all that stuff. Okay, what do we need? We've only got 46 people. We've actually got less people than before. Because we only have 45 engineers and no workers, actually. So we don't need as much. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. We've got raw food. We want a medical post there. And we want a cookhouse, which I'll place there. And then last thing we need is a bit of tech, but we don't have the wood quite yet. Okay. So yeah, I like to think that my starting game is a lot tighter than it was before because of all those starts on hard mode. And certainly I've got myself organised quite a bit better.
Gather your tools.
There's the end of the workday, so generator can now be activated. And as they come off into their free time, they actually start building stuff. So they'll build all the housing they need straight away. And they'll get all of that sorted out. And there we go. The only drawback is we need to make sure that we've got things. So, let's see. We're going to... How are we for wood? We're actually okay for wood. So we're going to pull the workers off these. Honestly, hard mode, I think the hardest thing about hard mode is the lack of resources. And then the second hardest thing is how quickly things escalate. Because you get hit by major cold snaps really quickly if you're on hard mode. And you get less resources as well to try and deal with it. So that's part of why it can be such a problem. But I also learned from that, like, focus on getting your gathering stuff sorted out as soon as possible. Because the gathering post can gather more stuff more rapidly, and it protects people from the cold, which is the most important thing. So if I put that like that, then I can build that out to there. So that's why I'm kind of getting gathering posts all over the darn place already. I don't really need them, it's medium difficulty, but, you know, it's going to help. I'm not, however, going to activate the cookhouse just yet. Okay, new law. Right. Now, we get extended shift, which we engage. And we will also make sure that we got people in here, and we'll extend the shift as well. That increases it by 4 hours. And then we check the tech out. This is different. There's not as much stuff in exploration and industry. Probably because we lost the plans in the transport. Is there anything different in here? There is less stuff. There's not... We're missing something back here, I think, in the first level. Heating seems to be about the same. Yeah, heating's the same. Exploration and industry, we're just missing an absolute load of stuff. Mostly all the factory stuff and automaton stuff, to be honest. Then coal thumpers, sawmills, steelworks. Yeah, all resource buildings are available, I think. I still feel like we're missing something though in food, health, and shelter. I'm just not sure what. Nah, I'll work it out later, probably. Okay, so what we want, we really want those plans to start working on automatons, but that's not going to do us any good when we run out of materials. So honestly, let's go for faster gathering, I think, or maybe beacon. No, let's go for an early beacon. Faster, gather faster, then the beacon, then the hub. Actually, because we've got less people, we don't need heating tech yet. The generator by itself will keep the buildings next to it operational for the first freeze. The second freeze will freeze some stuff up, so having workplace heaters would be a good idea then. But right now we don't actually need it. And this time we've also got the automaton as well, just helping out. Also, I think workplace heaters will help with the seedling arcs as well. Don't complain, we must work harder. Yep. Keep on going, people. You have things to do. And we'll also get... right now we can put up with some dissatisfaction, so engineers, extend shift. We don't have any people to deal with sick, so let's get that sorted out. Because we've already got 2 people sick. We don't want anyone getting extremely sick. No, that would be bad. So that's why I built a health post straight away. There's always going to be some sick people at the start, no matter what. Because they'll just get cold going out there. So you might as well deal with it as best you can. So having a few people on this... We might as well actually pull out a couple of workers on it. We need at least 2 people for the place to even work. And it won't be very efficient, but 2 is the absolute minimum to get a post working. So that's working okay. This one is also working flat out. We've got 18 people spare. That's enough to get some more stuff rolling out. So let us get more resources gathering. Like that. That's being gathered, that's being gathered. These are being gathered very thoroughly. That leaves this one needing to be gathered. Like that. So there we go. And then we'll be harvesting all of our starting resource stockpiles. Yeah, that seems to be okay. Okay, we've already got... Okay, we've got balloon. We can get a beacon out. Let us start then with... How much wood have we got? You've still got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wood. Actually, we're okay for wood. In which case, let us begin with... I suppose we're going to need to expand a little bit. Let's go with heaters for now. And we need more resources to get things started out.
Time to rest, folks. Work's out for today.
Beacon. Where are we going to put the beacon? The beacon will go, I suppose... actually, where is a lift site? There's a wall drill, there's iron. Where are the sites? There's not one here. Is there not an outpost site? There is not! We actually can't get an outpost in this place. Huh. Okay, sure. No outpost. Destroy resources if I put it there, but not really sure where else to put it. Let's check the grid. If I put it there, then I can put it there. You know what, that's fine, let's put it there. We need to get the scouts out. You're not supposed to survive that long for long. The seeds, are you not? Sorry, I didn't understand that one either, Lollard. It's a bit too garbled. See, soup. Give me soup. Thank you. And then I'll assign...
New law in the city.
I'll extend the work hours, at least for the moment, on that. Max it out. Give me soup. So they'll convert all the raw food into soup by the time people are getting hungry. And then you've got coal and you've got wood, so you are going to start operating that. Beacon built. There we go. Now people will be able to survey the icy bounds and surround us, the Frostland. Oh, you are saying storm on the horizon. Oh. Well, that okay. So we've got more regular storms. It looks like. Operational. We can clearly see the storm approaching from the south. It's still some distance away, but we better keep an eye on it and make sure we set up infrastructure needed to heat the arcs before it hits. Yeah. The thing is, I've got to get things sorted out so that the seeds can be kept safe anyway. And the faster and more efficiently I can do that, the better. New operational. We need a little bit more wood, I think. Yeah, we need 5 engineers and wood. We need 40 wood to get the scouts out. There we go. Scouts ready. We just need the engineers now. Fast scout. Off you go to check the abandoned supplies. Look at that flipping storm, though. This is going to be fun. Yeah, the arcs are not... I mean, one heating installation on the arcs? I mean, come on. That is awful. One level of installation. That is absolutely terrible. Also, I've got 2 people sick right now because... yeah, because of that. So, let's pull out the people to actually get that fully operational because there'll be service outages if you don't have enough people in those. But there we go, that'll get 2 people into that. And this place will supply the food, so yeah. Not too shabby at all. What time are we at? 7:50. I think I'm going to wrap this up at 8, so about 10 minutes. Why are we slowed down again? Go faster. But yeah, people just generally aren't happy. Oh, there we go, heaters. Right, so we need heaters, we need steam hubs. We need a bunch of stuff. That said though, the resources are incredibly abundant compared to hard mode, so we should be fine for a little while without getting sawmills and steelworks. Steelworks though, sooner the better, really, but we need automatons to actually operate the stuff. So let's get the steam hubs up and operating instead. Food is being converted. We actually only need 1 person in the cookhouse, so let's take that down and switch it back to normal mode. I just wanted some there before people got hungry and started eating the raw food. Because if people get hungry, they get sick faster.
Time to get to work.
And yes, we can heat these guys up. Excellent. Let's max that one out because that was getting wood. Are you maxed out? You're maxed out. This one has only got some coal to it. So yeah, let's actually... that means put the rest of the people into that one. Maybe I could stand to have an additional bit of tech going, I think. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Just speed up the tech, at least a little bit. I just wish this grid system wasn't so awkward. Right, put you there, I suppose? No. Let's put you there. Let's build a new path, actually. So just the path a little bit. There we go. Let's tear out the existing path. And then we can put in an additional workshop right there. And then we can use that to help get things sorted out. Ooh, steam hub already. These guys are really good at researching stuff, actually. Now let's get faster gathering. We just don't need it, really. But it's going to help. Slides are covered in snow and ice. They seem undamaged, but we'll have to dig them out to be sure. Steel and steam cores. Oh, and now my phone goes off. Flipping heck. You were doing so well. Damn phone. We spent hours hacking into the isosphere supplies, but we did it. We were forced to abandon them once. Doing it again would be unforgivable. Science discovered broken automaton and mountainside cave. Okay. Broken automaton. A broken automaton that we had to leave behind during our journey from Britain. Or we can see a cave entrance in the mountainside. Honestly, let's go for the cave side because I want to see if I can find any people. If there's any more people to be had, that's what I want. Automatons, we can pick them up later. They won't die if things get too cold or if they're left alone too long. But people are a critical resource that we can't sort out by ourselves. Let's see. Fighting arena. That way we can start to deal with some of the discontent that's going on.
Hear me. New law in the city.
And that will help in general. We could actually fit it right there, I suppose. Yeah, that'll help. Put it there. So at least I'll deal with some discontent. I think the only thing the people did right when they built these arcs is that they built them in this artificial valley to try and keep them all enclosed. Otherwise, it might have been even worse. At least here they've got some shelter. So let's get that sorted out. You've got enough to be done dealing with. We need food source as well, actually. That's what I'm missing. Hunters. Fighting arena built. We don't have hunters. Of course, we don't have hunters. The only food source we can actually get is the hothouse. I've not actually used a hothouse before. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, I knew there was something missing from that section, and it was hunters. Bastion complex. Used as a warehouse, there's still some supplies. Okay, sure. Cave could collapse any moment. It's no wonder it hasn't been turned into a permanent shelter. We take what we can and leave before we are trapped in here or worse. 36 food, 164 wood. Okay, that's plenty. That leaves the broken automaton. Let's keep on going. We are doing okay. We've got the extra research going on. We need to get time to use them. Yeah, the only reason I didn't before is because they require steam cores, quite honestly. Okay, we've got some temperature dropping going on. How is our temperatures? These guys are chilly. And I believe that was actually the cutoff point. Like, if you leave it chilly for too long, at least chilly. Oh. Okay, so we can keep them at least at chilly. So if they drop below chilly, that's the failure condition. So that's okay. Okay, research. Need to get next level of research. We've got tons of wood. We can do that.
Move. Time to get to work.
Honestly, the only thing I need to do is wait and manage what few people I've got. Okay, let's see. To make sure I don't run out of food, I need to research the hothouses. That's actually a priority. As soon as I realised that I didn't have hunters, I realised that hothouses were vital. And I couldn't just go on without them, so I had to get them. We've got a ton of food rations, but we're okay. There is a cold snap coming, which would drop us to dangerous levels, as in failure condition levels. but it's only short, and we've already got enough heater strength to take care of it, so that's all okay. The question remains how bad that storm's going to be. Let's see. What I really need though is the factory and the automatons. Seething arcs might freeze. Captain, in a few days the temperature will drop. Our seething arcs will be in danger. Have to keep them warm with heaters or steam hubs. So it actually gives you a warning that there's a dangerous temperature coming. Good on you, game. Good on you. Oh, we're actually maxed out on coal. Hooray! We're maxed out on a resource already. That's actually kind of bad, but not too bad, I suppose. Food. That means I kind of need some resource storage. Of all things. Can I heat both of these at once? No, they're too far apart. So I suppose that means I should build a hub like here. Actually, no, hang on. Do I even need that? Really? I'm not so sure that I do. Not unless I find more people. Because there's plenty of space around this just to keep my existing population sorted out. Okay, you're there. Only the top of the automaton was sticking out of the snow. Digging it out will take some effort, but should be worth it. Lost Dreadnought and Industrial Ruins. The automaton was left where it broke down. Thankfully, we've managed to dig it out and fix it. We can now send it fully operational back to the city. Yes, please. Come back to me. And Industrial Ruins, buried in snow. So that's... And then Lost Dreadnought. It's the main vehicle from our exploration. So if we follow this, we might get our factory plans. The Industrial Ruins, though, is a side trip. You know what, Lost Dreadnought, sure. I want factory plans. I want to be able to build more Dreadnoughts. Now that said, I don't have many steam cores for that. Unfortunately though, that said, we are now at 8 o'clock, so the Ark will have to wait until next time. So yes. Honestly, this definitely takes a very different tack. The first one was all about gathering survivors and preparing for the cold, and just trying to build your city up. This one is all about protecting the seething arcs. And it doesn't give you many people to do that, so it does say you have to automate a lot. But honestly, this is all going pretty well. No doubt it's going to get harder though as we get further in. So, this has been Iron Mark III. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. And I'll catch you all some other time. Yes, indeed. See you all later. I really should have turned my light on, actually. I forgot it was getting late.